You have been buying pods, the ones in the orange box or the green one, maybe the purple. You grab them without thinking because they are convenient and there is always a coupon near the checkout. At 30 to 50 cents per pod on a household that runs the dishwasher 5 times a week, that is over $150 a year just on detergent. But here is what no one at Procter & Gamble is ever going to tell you. There is an ingredient inside every single one of those pods that has been slowly and permanently destroying your glasses. Not staining them, not fogging them, destroying the surface of the glass itself at a molecular level. And there is something else, something that applies to every form of dishwasher detergent ever sold. Pods, powder, liquid, tablets, every single one on the shelf. Something that is cutting years off the life of an appliance designed to last 15. An appliance you paid good money for, and the manufacturers know it, the chemists know it, and yet it appears on zero packaging. Stick with me because once you understand the chemistry behind that orange box, it is never coming back into your shopping cart. Here is what is actually happening inside your machine right now at this very moment. It does not matter which form you use or which brand name is on the box. Every commercial dishwasher detergent is built around the same class of alkaline surfactants. At the concentrations required to cut grease in a 60-second wash cycle, those surfactants gradually degrade every rubber component inside your machine. The door gasket, the pump seals, the internal hose connections, every piece of rubber in there. Appliance technicians have a name for this failure category: chemical degradation, not age, not mechanical wear, the detergent itself. Welcome to Forbidden Camping. If you are not subscribed yet, hit subscribe and the bell. This is where we dig up what the industry buried. A residential dishwasher is rated to last 10 to 15 years. Most fail between 8 and 10, and that gap is not a coincidence. One day there is a puddle on the floor after every cycle. Then the repair call at $200 minimum. Then the full replacement at $800. And the industry sells you the exact same alkaline chemistry in a different color box. The formula you are about to learn does none of that. But first, the glasses. The cloudiness you have noticed is not hard water. If it were mineral deposits, white vinegar would dissolve them. You have probably already tried that and nothing changed. That is because the cloudiness is not sitting on the surface. The damage is beneath the surface, and the chemical responsible is not a contaminant. It is a primary ingredient in your detergent, put there by design. Commercial pods use chelating agents. Their job is to bind to calcium and metal ions in water and pull them off your dishes. But chelating agents do not distinguish between the calcium in your dirty water and the silica in your glass. Inside a hot dishwasher with aggressive spray and high temperature, they attack the glass itself. Molecule by molecule over hundreds of cycles, they strip silica from the glass matrix. That cloudiness is the surface of your glass being consumed, permanently. There is no polish, no treatment, no hack that reverses etched glass. Once it is gone forever. A senior scientist at Procter & Gamble confirmed this exact mechanism in direct response to a press inquiry. The company that makes Cascade confirmed what their own product does to your glass, and then recommended a different version of their own product as the solution. The company that destroys your glasses tells you to buy more of their products to fix the problem they created. And that is where this gets even stranger. Now pay close attention to what I am about to say because it could completely change how you run your household from this point forward. I realized something watching this cycle of people throwing money at the cleaning industry year after year. Most people do not waste their money because they are incapable of learning. They waste it because they see a new product on the shelf, believe the commercial, buy it without thinking, then the next problem shows up, they grab the next expensive specialty product, and they repeat this cycle as if the industry were always working against them. But the problem is not the industry. The problem is not having a method. That is why I built the complete Forbidden Camping Vault. Inside, I show you how to stop acting on impulse and start running your home with the mindset of someone who has a plan, someone who understands the pillars of a truly self-sufficient household. You will learn how to recognize which industrial products you should replace immediately, which 4 base compounds cover 90% of your cleaning, and which techniques can double the lifespan of every appliance you own. And for everyone who follows this channel, I have included 3 exclusive guides alongside the vault. The Household Chemistry Playbook that shows you which 4 substances from any grocery store replace every industrial product in your kitchen. The Forgotten Cleaning Formula collection with 15 recipes your grandparents knew and that have vanished from every modern guide. And the Complete Descaling Protocol that makes your dishwasher, your washing machine, and your water heater last longer than any manufacturer intended. These three sit alongside the Forbidden Firecraft Manual, the complete off-grid blueprint, the 72-hour blackout checklist, and the Lost Rations Cookbook. Everything in one place, no fluff, straight to the point. The link is in the description or in the pinned comment. Click it now and secure the vault because this offer can disappear again at any moment. Now back to what the industry does not want you to know. Here is what actually fixes it. 4 ingredients: washing soda, baking soda, citric acid, and plain table salt. The 4 compounds doing the actual cleaning work inside every commercial formula. Minus the chelating agents, minus the synthetic fragrance, minus the bleach, and minus the polyvinyl alcohol film wrapped around every pod that becomes microplastic in your drain every cycle. Washing soda triggers. That is the primary cleaning mechanism, the exact same one inside every brand name product. Baking soda buffers the reaction on delicate surfaces and helps the mixture dissolve cleanly without residue. Citric acid chelates the calcium in your water, but at a concentration too low to reach the silica threshold in your glass. And it descales your machine automatically, every single cycle. Salt prevents clumping and softens the water in the wash tank. 1 cup of washing soda, 1 cup of baking soda, 1 cup of citric acid, half a cup of plain table salt. Mix in a bowl and leave it uncovered for 2 days before sealing it in a glass jar. That step is not optional. The citric acid reacts with ambient humidity, and the off-gassing settles the mixture completely. Seal it immediately, and it hardens into a solid block inside a week. After 2 days, seal it airtight, 1 teaspoon per load. $2.50 per batch, 56 loads, 4 cents each. The full supply run costs about $12 at any grocery store and covers 6 months. 6 months of Cascade pods on the same schedule costs $75. And here is where this stops being about your dishes. If you have made it this far, you already know more about the chemistry in your kitchen than 99% of people. Subscribe and share this with someone who is still buying the orange box every month without questioning it. Everything the industry buried is inside the complete Forbidden Camping Vault. The link is in the description. Now stay with me because the next part is the heaviest. In December 2022, researchers at the University of Zurich published a study in the Journal of Allergy and Clinical Immunology. They were investigating one specific question. What happens to the chemical residue that stays on your dishes after the cycle ends? A typical dishwasher applies rinse water for 60 seconds and then stops. There is no secondary rinse after that, no additional cycle to remove the remaining chemicals. What stays on your plate dries in place and waits for the next meal. When you eat off those dishes, the dried residue enters your gastrointestinal tract directly. The compound they identified was alcohol ethoxylate, a surfactant found in most commercial detergents and rinse aids. When they exposed human intestinal tissue to concentrations reflecting what actually remains on dry dishes, high doses killed the intestinal epithelial cells outright. Lower doses made the gut wall measurably more permeable. That barrier is what controls what enters your body from your digestive tract. Professor Actis stated publicly that defective epithelial barriers may play a role in triggering the onset of 2 billion chronic illnesses worldwide. 2 billion chronic illnesses, influenced in part by residue drying on the plates your family eats from every single day. Conditions linked to a defective gut barrier include food allergies, gastritis, diabetes, obesity, rheumatoid arthritis, and chronic depression. The study was published by the Swiss Institute of Allergy and Asthma Research, an associated institute of the University of Zurich, one of the most respected research institutions in Europe. This was not a blog post, and this was not a theory. This was peer-reviewed science published in one of the top immunology journals in the world. The formula you just learned contains 0 alcohol ethoxylates. Washing soda, citric acid, and baking soda rinse completely and dissolve cleanly in the wash water. Nothing bonds to the dish surface and nothing dries in place. And now the numbers the industry would rather you never see. The global market for dishwashing detergents is worth over $20 billion. Procter & Gamble, Reckitt Benckiser, Henkel, and Colgate-Palmolive control nearly half of that market. These 4 corporations spend hundreds of millions of dollars each year on advertising to explain why you need their latest innovation. Every new color, every new layer, every new capsule is a marketing tool, not a scientific breakthrough. You cannot that you need 13 different active ingredients, a blue ball, a red layer, and a special coating. These 4 base compounds are everything you need, and they cost less than a single box of premium pods. That is why you will find nowhere on a Cascade box or a finish package the simple truth that the foundation of their formula is 4 substances you can mix yourself for pennies. A $20 billion industry needs customers, and the simplest way to create customers is to make you forget what your grandparents already knew. Your grandmother did not have pods, she had washing soda and vinegar, and her glasses were crystal clear after 30 years. If you are on a septic system, this matters even more. Commercial detergents carry surfactants and phosphorus directly into your tank every cycle. Surfactants are toxic to the anaerobic bacteria that break down solid waste in your tank. Every ingredient in this formula, sodium carbonate, baking soda, citric acid, and salt, is fully biodegradable and neutral to anaerobic bacteria. Your system works the way it was designed to. For rinsing, skip the jet dry entirely. A small open dish with a quarter cup of plain white distilled vinegar on the top rack lowers the surface tension of the rinse water at contact. Exactly what a synthetic rinse aid does, for 9 cents instead of 35. Do not pour the vinegar directly into the rinse aid reservoir. Sustained acid exposure degrades the rubber seals in most dispensers over a single season. Top rack, open dish, every single time. Once a month, run the machine empty with half a cup of plain citric acid dropped into the bottom basin on a hot cycle. That flush clears the spray arm orifices, the internal filter housing, and the drain pump. The exact failure points where limescale accumulates fastest. Appliance technicians identify this as the single most common cause of non-mechanical dishwasher failure. The repair bill runs between $120 and $300, and prevention costs citric acid and 15 minutes. Here is the number that matters most. 5 cycles a week with this formula cost about $10. Over 10 years, the gap is well over $1,000, and that is before repair calls, before replacement glasses, and before an accelerated pump schedule on your septic system. Same clean dishes, no glass destruction, no chemical residue drying on anything your family eats from, a machine descaling itself every cycle, and chemistry that does not slowly consume an appliance you paid good money for. I need to be honest with you at this point. This formula is not a miracle that solves every problem. With extremely hard water, you may need to increase the salt ratio or add regeneration salt to your machine built-in softener. With heavily baked-on food, a longer cycle may be necessary compared to the most aggressive industrial tabs. And glasses that are already etched cannot be restored by any formula on Earth. That damage is permanent. But for your future dishes, your future glasses, and your future machine, everything changes. Because this formula cleans without destroying. This knowledge did not die. It was waiting. Waiting in chemistry textbooks, in your grandmother's kitchen, in simple formulas anyone can understand. Waiting for someone to open the vault. The detergent industry has spent decades perfecting a system that makes you dependent on products that destroy your own appliances. 4 ingredients against a $20 billion empire. You now have the formula, the chemistry, and the numbers that prove the opposite. If this video made a difference for you, subscribe to Forbidden Camping and share it with everyone you know. Send it to the person in your family who buys the orange box every month without a second thought. Every share preserves what the industry tried to erase. Inside the complete vault, you will find everything you need to free your entire home from industrial dependency. The link is in the description or the pinned comment. The next vault opens soon, and what is inside weighs even heavier.